Because most of this series was spent jumping around the schedule, we didn't really look at how each pick we made would impact each team week to week in the standings. And since each of these games was picked before the preseason even started, it would be prudent to go back and take a second look to see if there are any notable revisions to make. In episode 3, we looked at all the teams since 2004 that ended a season with fewer than 4 wins. Most seasons only 1 or 2 teams are listed, but in some seasons there were 3 or 4. Our initial projections have 5 teams finishing this season with fewer than 4 wins. That's too many. These same projections don't have any teams winning exactly 4 games, and that seems odd because there's been at least one team to win exactly 4 games every season since 2002. Indianapolis won exactly 4 games last season, and we picked them to win 3 games this season because without running back Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis doesn't have many weapons to support their rookie quarterback. Tennessee is an older team, and their roster might be feeling their age around week 13, so changing this pick from a Tennessee win to an Indianapolis win wouldn't be entirely unreasonable. Despite having the league's worst rushing attack last season, Tampa Bay still won 8 games. It's not hard to justify Tampa Bay going from 8 wins to 3 wins without Tom Brady on their roster, but they could win week 12 at Indianapolis because without Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis can't run the ball either. We picked Washington to win only 3 games because of all the new names on their offense, but they are returning 10 starters from a defense that ranked number 3 in football last season. Washington beat Chicago in Chicago last season on Thursday Night Football. They play on Thursday Night Football again this season, but this time the game will be played in Washington. I haven't liked the way Denver quarterback Russell Wilson has looked in Sean Payton's offense this season, so I'm now picking Washington to beat Denver and Chicago to stay in the wild card race for the first third of 2023. Las Vegas has beat Denver the last 6 times they played. With running back Josh Jacobs no longer holding out, I'm changing my pick for week 1. Las Vegas and Los Angeles have split the last 6 games they've played against each other, and I'm going to change the initial pick for week 4 so they can do it again this season. A lot of people are picking Arizona to lose a lot of games because of their quarterback situation, plus they only play 6 games against teams that had a losing record in 2022. Only 2 of these games will be played in Arizona, and we already picked 1 in their favor. Let's be optimistic and assume Kyler Murray plays week 10 and leads Arizona to a win over Atlanta. During the 2020 regular season, there were 9 teams with win streaks of 5 games or more. During the 2021 regular season, there were 9 teams with win streaks of 5 games or more. During the 2022 regular season, there were 9 teams with win streaks of 5 games or more. In our preseason predictions, we picked 11 teams to have win streaks of 5 games or more. Miami has put together a win streak of 5 games or more in each of the last 3 seasons, and we currently have them projected for a 6-game win streak in 2023. But we also projected Buffalo and New York to have win streaks of 5 games, and 3 streaks in one division may be too much. In episode 7, we identified Buffalo at Washington in week 3 as a potential trap game. I'm now picking Buffalo to get trapped at Washington for their first loss of 2023. We picked Minnesota to lose 4 straight games weeks 5 through 8 before winning 5 straight weeks 9 through 14. I'm no longer sure Minnesota will win back-to-back games in primetime weeks 11 and 12. Therefore, I'm going to change the outcome of their Sunday Night Football game week 11 at Denver. And I'm going to offset that change by swapping the outcomes of Minnesota's Monday Night Football game, Week 7 versus San Francisco. We currently have Atlanta picked for the longest win streak to end the regular season, 5 wins, even though they play 3 of their last 5 games on the road. Atlanta has a lot of depth at running back, and they are my pick to lead the league in rushing this season, but it's going to be cold Week 17 in the Windy City, and Chicago knows how to run the ball too, so I'm changing my pick to a Chicago win at home. Over the first 8 episodes of this series, we picked Atlanta to win all 6 of their division games. This doesn't seem right since Atlanta has won 5 division games in total over the last 3 seasons. Over the first 8 episodes of this series, we picked Cleveland to lose all 6 of their division games. This doesn't seem right since Cleveland won 3 division games each of the last 5 seasons. We were pretty conflicted about New Orleans versus Atlanta in week 12 with both teams coming off their bye. Let's change that pick, as well as Minnesota versus Atlanta in week 9. And let's give Minnesota a win at Detroit in week 18 since Detroit could be resting players ahead of the playoffs. Even though Joe Burrow missed the preseason, I still like Cincinnati over Cleveland in the regular season opener, but I could see Cleveland upsetting Cincinnati in their regular season finale. I'm also going to switch the original pick for Cleveland against Baltimore in week 4, now giving Cleveland the win, but with Baltimore now losing week 4, I'm thinking I'll switch the game week 5 at Pittsburgh to a Baltimore win. And after watching Pittsburgh in the preseason, considering how well they played after the bye last year. I'm changing my pick for Week 9 to give Pittsburgh a 5-game win streak in the middle third of the season, propelling Steel City to a 12-win season and a first-place finish in the AFC North. Because we changed picks for 19 games in this episode, there have been some notable changes to our end-of-season standings. Overall, the NFC predictions seem pretty solid, with 3 new teams making it to the playoffs. 11 wins is usually enough to get a team to the playoffs, yet we have Miami missing out in the AFC. In the last 60 years of football, 5 teams have missed the playoffs after winning 11 games. There's so much quarterback talent in the AFC right now, I feel like it'll take 12 wins to get a wildcard spot. Somehow our projections have 2 divisions where every team finishes with a winning record. An obvious change to make is Week 18, Cleveland at Cincinnati, where a Cincinnati win clinches the AFC North. But I called an upset in that game and I'm going to stick with it, and look instead to the AFC East, where we have Buffalo finishing 4th in the division despite having the best record in division games. That just seems wrong. That's why I'm changing the outcome of Miami vs. Buffalo in Week 4, dropping Buffalo to an 8-9 record overall, 3-3 in their division, while moving Miami up to 12 wins, winning them the AFC East and securing them a spot in the playoffs. And with that, we have finalized our predictions for the 2023 regular season schedule. Thank you very much for watching episode 9 of our preseason series. If you would like to be amongst the first to know when the next episode is available, go to footballelementary.com and sign up for the email list or follow Pro Football Max on the socials. Until next time.